Very good. Have you ever worked with any that are an internal sale, a sale to employees or ESOPs or anything like that?
Yeah, I can tell you that we have, and it rarely works out. And that may be a surprise to some folks. When it comes to either selling to a current business partner, perhaps a relative, or even I'll put in the same bucket, Greg, as an internal sale, maybe a friendly competitor one county over. The reality is familiarity breeds contempt. Those folks that are closest to the business, the facts are they will pay the least amount for the business. It's just how it is. Unfortunately, what also can happen is some animosity might build up because you're good friends with your coworker or your partner, and now it comes time to sell, and they're nice enough to bring Sunbelt in to do our free value range assessment, and we provide our opinion of value. Go back to the partner. The partner goes, no, 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 no. I'm not paying that much for this thing. So now at least we can be blamed rather than, you know what I mean? Just like parents when our kids didn't want to go to the party in high school, just tell them that mom and dad said no, and you don't need to be that kid. But the point being is that animosity can build up, and then pretty soon that relationship can be shattered in some cases. And now the word's out that you were thinking of selling, and it just ends up not working out. But with that said, yes, we do work on some internal sales, and some of them do work out, but it's a tough road to go down.
Interesting. I guess I wasn't expecting that answer. So, what is your opinion when it comes to buy-sell agreements?
In particular, as far as like how they're structured, Greg, or who should put them together, or what?
Whether you should have them, and if so, how are they structured?
Yeah, you definitely should have them, no question about it. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is we have a couple here right in the city's local neutral attorneys who do transactions all the time. And so they put the buy-sell agreements together. I've had situations where agency partners reached out and said, hey, we're taking a look at, I'm buying out my partner. Can you help us with some documents? And we're happy to do that. And again, we get these neutral attorneys involved. They're very fair priced when it comes to these transactions because I do them all the time. But document, because as great as we all want that first day when we're business partners and the sun's shining and everything's great, the reality is down the road, when and if you need to separate, sometimes it's unfortunately not pretty.
But it's good to be prepared in the event that happens, so you're not forced to do something that you wouldn't otherwise normally do.
Absolutely.
Outside of that situation.
Absolutely.
Actually, one of the questions we have here kind of goes along with one of my questions too. The question was, will there be tax changes under the Biden administration? And one of the things we talked about just yesterday at the call I was on was the capital gains tax rate and the suggestion that may be increasing. I guess, what does that all mean? And is that a reason to get her done in 21?
Yeah. Hey, did you just make that up? I like that.
I did.
That's pretty good. I get a t-shirt made on that one. So the first thing I need to always say is I'm not an attorney and I'm not an accountant. So I'm not here to give anybody advice. However, we're hearing the same thing, of course, that those capital gains may increase. And when it comes to capital gains and a lot of these agencies, the majority of what people are purchasing is goodwill. So that will impact that. So with that said, I've always been of the belief that when you think you might be ready, it's a good time to start talking about it. The average time it takes to sell a business in Minneapolis and Minnesota, rather, for Sunbelt currently is 6 to 9 months. That's the average time. So if you're thinking right now you might be thinking of selling, and we're in early March, that would imply you might sell it before the end of the year. Now, I don't know if the tax rates are going to change, when they're going to change, what they're going to change to, but I can tell you that we have had some business owners that we've been working with for years that we continue to stay in touch with who have recently said, all right, let's get this to the market because now I don't know what's going to happen. So that uncertainty and fear, I don't like presenting that way, but it is our current reality. So the other thing to keep in mind, like I said before, is we put your analysis together at no charge, confidential. We agree on a go-to-market price, which is typically higher than reasonable. And if for some reason during our engagement that price isn't met, our clients can say, no, you know what, we tested the market. I thought we could get this much for it. Everything's coming in below that. I don't need to sell right now. Appreciate the time, energy, and effort you put in Sunbelt. I don't owe you a dime. We gave it a shot. On the other hand, great news. We have multiple offers. It's a seller's market. Let's sell this thing as soon as we can to the right buyer. By the way, Greg, you and I touched on that earlier. Some of the folks we work with make it very clear, I do not want to sell to the big boys. I want to keep it local, keep it in the family, carry my legacy on, and we respect those wishes. We aren't necessarily here to get the highest price. We are here to find the best fit for our client. And when we talk about highest price, as neat as that number might sound, it's really important of what you actually net. So we urge our clients to get their accountants involved. As neat as $1 million listing might sound, what does that mean to you, to your point, from a capital gains perspective, tax implication, going back how these deals are structured? As great as it would be to get a nice big check at closing, you're going to take a pretty big hit that next year for tax purposes. When you spread it out versus an earnout or a seller financing, the number is the number, but it's a little less painful when you spread that out over 3 to 5 years.
And it spreads it out a bit for the buyer as well.
Absolutely.